making hard strawberry lemonade.
I'm Greg.
I'm Julie, and we're the Crafty Winers.
So the way that we do our recipes for hard cider and hard lemonade, and even to some extent for some of our wines, is you watch the video on how to make the base hard lemonade, and then this video will just show you a recipe to add to it to make it into something
Better.
more special. So you need to watch the video on hard lemonade,
Which we will link.
which will get you something very close to this. This particular batch of lemonade was made from Amazon's fresh lemonade, which I will link in the description below in case you're interested in a really cheap lemonade. This ended at an ABV of, I do not know because it's not written on it. Let's figure that out real quick using our tool.
Way to go, keeping up your batch notes.
We happen to be on the tool right now.
We are.
So the initial gravity on this was 1.054.
Okay. And the final?
0.996.
Well, we're pretty close. 7.5.
So the reason that it's a little higher is because it went a little drier than 1.000.
Yeah.
And our predictive tool to tell you how much sugar to add to get the desired ABV figures that it's going to 1.000 because there's no way for it to know otherwise. So the other thing that we did in our base video is we took the pH to around 3.8. So that's already been done in this batch. This is a pH of 3.8.
Mm-hmm.
And again, it's 7.5 ABV. So we're going to take this batch and we're going to turn it into something a whole lot better than just hard lemonade. Right now, there's not a lot of flavor in this because the fermentation process
takes a lot of that out.
Strips a lot of it out.
Yeah.
So the very first thing that we're going to do is add
some concentrate.
1 whole can, which is 12 ounces.
And we use 1 whole can for every gallon.
Per
is
gallon,
our
per gallon. We are
of back sweetening.
We are going to run out of headroom, I think, and we'll deal with that when that happens.
Yeah, we will.
This is a 1 gallon jar up till about where the threads start. And we have a little bit less than a gallon now, but by the time we add this concentrate and by the time we add our strawberries, it's going to be pushing the top. So, but we'll deal with that here in a second, if it's a problem. So I'm going to pour all that in. This does 2 things. It adds a lot of the lemonade flavor back in that was lost. And then it also adds some sweetness. Now, it's very important that you don't do this until after you've added the potassium sorbate that were in our base video. If you just finished fermentation and then added this juice with sugar in it, it's probably going to start your fermentation again. And I do know from experience that it's not what you want to do because then you have to wait longer and you ended up probably with a higher ABV than you were looking for, so you might be able to taste the alcohol and so forth. So I'm going to go ahead and stir that up a little bit. Not terribly important to have everything stirred really well right now because it's going to have some time to settle. Oh, I meant to point out before I poured the lemonade in there, the lemonade concentrate, that there was some lees. Even though this has been racked before, this has been sitting for a couple of weeks. And some particles, some lees sediment accumulated at the bottom. Now, it was a valid plan for us to rack this again to get it off that lease if we wanted to, but we decided we didn't want to spend the time to do that, and we don't need to because we're going to end up racking it again anyway.
Because the strawberries are going to be in it.
And we just added a lot of particular matter in the form of
particular matter.
What do you call the
Bill Nye the Science Guy?
Let's add lemon pulp in it. So we added that, so we for sure need to let that settle to the bottom and rack this again because we want this to be clear, not
we'll have strawberry floaties too.
So we wouldn't have accomplished much by racking it before we started this. Although you're welcome to. You're just going to lose some lemonade, which we're probably going to lose some lemonade anyway.
It looks like
it. So there's no way that we're going to be able to fit all of this in there with the headroom that we have. So. And I do know that this lemonade, this hard lemonade, is going to be good right now.
It tastes pretty good.
So we're not going to waste it. We're going to drink it. We'll get about probably half of one of these cups out of here. to give us room. And I'm not going to drink it right away because maybe we'll pour it back in there, although I probably should have sanitized this glass if we were going to do that. And I didn't. But
It
it's
just
clean.
came out of the
It just came out
dishwasher.
of the dishwasher.
And
So
it gets
we'll
really
go
hot.
with that. So here's a full glass that I've taken out, and it's just going to sit to the side right now. We will drink it if we don't end up pouring it back in.
These are just, I don't know if you can see, yeah.
What
Great
was-
Value
How much weight?
was exactly half a pound of Great Value strawberries that I just let thaw. And they create their own juice, which is nice, but I'm also going to smush them a little with a potato masher. And then we will stick them in this infuser.
So we are using an infuser. There are a number of other methods you could use, including cheesecloth or a brewer bag, or even just throwing them in there and letting them float, although that's my least favorite way of doing it, because you will have some challenge getting them back out of the juice again.
These smell really good.
I can smell them.
Yeah.
The infuser is nice because it lets the juice out, but very little of the strawberry. It makes it a lot easier to rack it later.
Start shoveling this in.
We have this in a bowl to catch all the juice that's going to leak out so that we can put that in separately.
Yep.
And I would suggest, in fact, I'm going to go grab some food-safe, lead-free, food-safe marbles that we're going to put in here as well to make sure that this sinks to the bottom. Sometimes it'll start off on the bottom and then float up to the top as a couple days go by. So it's a good idea. It's a good practice to put the marbles in to start with. So typically when we're adding a fruit flavor to a cider or a wine or whatever, we usually give it about a 3-day period before we taste it. And then if it's not where we want it to be, we'll give it another 3 days. So that's what we'll do here. If you haven't watched our other videos, you may wonder what the heck this is. This is a fishing bobber. And basically this just makes it so that the chain stays up at the top so that I can grab it to pull it out.
Yeah, we used to use tongs. That was kind of a pain.
Yeah, and everything has been sanitized using Star Sand.
Woo,
That's
that's
gonna fit.
close.
But those marbles, I put like 7 marbles, I believe, in there, and that made it
Yeah,
go
that's
right
good.
down to the bottom. And this is just about the perfect amount of headroom. So
Boy,
bonus, we have some juice that we
Some-
can drink, and we also have juice that still has to
which
be
will give it
put
a
in there.
pretty color.
And I'm going to use some of this juice to make sure I'm getting all of the strawberry juice out that I can. Oh,
What was that?
she doesn't like that word. Strawberry.
I think she was grumbling at her sister.
Are you grumbling at your sister? This is Nori and Pippin, our corgis. I don't know if they're making an ugly face or a cute face right now.
Their faces are always cute. Huh, aren't they?
So, we will be putting this into... What, Nori? Is she looking at me?
She's looking at me.
This is what she does if she feels like she's not getting enough attention.
Or she wants something, needs something, and it is dinner time, so valid.
It's
valid.
It's dinner time for us and for them. This is the last video that we're recording tonight of 3 that we've done so far. So, this is going to go into our... Hello, Nori. Yes, I know. I heard you need food. I got it. We'll work on that.
Real quick. Real soon.
I can't touch you because then I have to sanitize my hands again. So, this is going to go into our fermenting room for 3 days. And she's going to write on the batch note that we need to check this again. Today is the 23rd, I believe. And we're going to check it again and taste it on the 26th. And see if the flavor that we are looking for is there, or if it needs another 3 days. Yes, Nori, I hear you. We're getting that food. It's coming right up. One way or the other, after this is done and it has the fruit flavor that we're looking for, we'll come back and tell you the next step.
It's been a few days for us, not for you. A couple seconds for you, probably. Unless you paused it for a few days to come back and watch this. So we put the strawberries in here in the infuser. We left it in for 6 days, right?
Yeah.
6 days, and then we took it
We
out.
we tasted it after 3 days, thought it needed a little more, left it in for another 3 days, and it was obvious after the 6 days that the strawberries had given what they had to give.
Yeah, they were strawberried out. Is that a thing?
They didn't look like they had anything left.
And now this has a lot of sediment in the bottom, so we're gonna rack it again.
I don't want to move this because I don't want to stir up the sediment, so I'll just zoom in so that you can see there's a really thick half-inch of sediment at the bottom. So we put this in the way that we got that to go to the bottom is after we took the infuser out, we put it in our 34-degree refrigerator.
Yeah.
For 3 days. That's called cold crashing.
And
So
it worked.
that caused all the stuff that was floating in here, and it was really thick. There was a lot of stuff floating, and it has now all sunk to the bottom. So before we do anything with this, we want to rack this again. So this is a second racking, and we typically will rack anything before bottling. We will rack it twice. We could just rack into our carbonation keg rather than racking into here, but
if we knew it was right.
Yeah, we don't know that it's right yet. When we taste this, now that it's clear, the flavor is going to have changed a little bit since the last time we tasted it. So we're going to taste it and see if all the flavors there that we want, and if not, we're going to add probably some syrup to it. But we want to make sure that we're not stirring this up because that sediment will all get mixed back into it again. So very first thing that we're going to do is rack it. Okay, so you probably saw that cloud just from the suction starting. So this is very, very, very fine, and it's going to be a challenge to not get a lot of it. Getting some of it, I mean, there's absolutely no way that you don't get some of that stuff at the bottom into the new, but just do your best to not get very much of it. So at the end, I tip it to try to get the depth that I need to keep the suction going.
This one's kind of tricky.
Wow, that's really, really fine sediment at the bottom. So
we're not going to get all of it.
Yeah, I would rather lose a little bit of this juice than take the cloud back. I honestly think that's about it.
Yeah.
It's stalled, so to restart it, I'm going to have to shift my hands, and that's just going to stir it all back up in. So it looks like there was more wasted than there was when I put this level again.
It's not bad.
There's only about a little over a half an inch there, so that's not terrible. You can tell by looking at this, it's still almost a gallon. We're about half an inch short of a gallon, so that worked out.
Not bad. All right.
We'll clear this out of the way. Look how nice and clear that is now.
Looks good.
Does not actually appear to have red from strawberries, but
not really.
I did notice some of that sediment had a red hue to it. So, okay, so next is taste. Let's see if it has enough strawberry now that the sediment is gone, or if we want to add something. You would always have the option of putting fruit back in it too, if you wanted to try that, but I don't think I want to.
More fruit?
You could do the fruit again.
Oh, yeah.
For another 6 days. New fruit.
Yeah. Well, okay. It still tastes like really good lemonade, but I'm not getting a whole lot of strawberry.
That's good. But I agree, there's a tart from the strawberry. You can tell it's strawberry for sure, but it's tart, so it needs to be a little sweeter, I think. And a little more strawberry.
I think if we didn't know it was strawberry, we might not pick up on the strawberry very much. So yeah, I think we should put some syrup in it.
Well, we have two options. We have strawberry. Hold on. Voila. So these are our two current options if we're going to do something other than fresh fruit again. This is Brewer's Best strawberry natural flavoring. This is good. We use Brewer's Best for a lot of ciders and lemonades. It's probably my favorite extract that we have. It's water-based, so you don't have to put it in propylene glycol or Everclear to make it water soluble. It's already water soluble. But this is not sweet, or that's not typically sweet. I haven't tasted this particular one, truth be told, but I expect it's not sweet because the other ones are not. And then we have Torani sugar-free strawberry syrup. And as you can tell,
We've used a lot of it.
we've used a lot of it. So it's both sweet and has a very strong strawberry flavor. So depending on what we wanted to do, this is not sugar-free necessarily. I doubt it has a lot of sugar in it, but this is sugar-free. So we can add this without adding any more calories. It's got zero calories, zero
It's zero
fat,
of everything.
zero carbs, zero sugars, zero protein. That's got 5 milligrams of sodium. That's basically all it's got. So my guess is that Julie's going to say, let's do the syrup, because that'll both sweeten it and make it more flavorful.
Yeah.
Or we could do this and add allulose to sweeten it. But
there's that. This will add the red color also.
That is true.
Which
Where
I
this
kind of
won't. This is actually about the same color as our
blueberry one. We used the syrup on it and it changed it to a nice little blue color, which I like. So I think we try this one.
Okay. So typically what we do is 2 ounces at a time when we're flavoring these. We're using the syrup. And we've got a nice little jigger that will go up to
3. We just know 2 ounces is what normally works, so we start with that. But if you're doing this for the first time, I'd recommend just doing 1 ounce at a time, probably, just so you don't get overboard on it, because it is sugar-free, and sugar-free stuff tends to be a little sweeter than stuff with real sugar in it. I'm gonna live on the wild side and go ahead and do 2. There we go. Oh, I didn't get the spoon again.
Don't need it. So just to make sure that all of the syrup is coming out, I use the sucky thing to kind of wash this out. And then I use the sucky thing.
Sucky thing is the scientific term for this.
Very much.
Yep.
I think it comes from Latin. Doesn't take a whole lot of stirring because you can tell the color gets very
looks like strawberry
consistent throughout. And yes, this does. This helped the color immensely.
Oh yeah, it looks pretty. It's pink. I'm almost thinking we try a little bit of the extract too. I don't think I want it any sweeter. It's got a nice balance, but maybe it just
it is really good, and I know when it's carbonated it's going to be better, but I agree that maybe it could use a little more strawberry without the sweet.
Just like a pop of strawberry.
Let's try it. So as I said, I didn't believe we'd used this before, so proof.
We have not.
I want to take a little taste of this before we put it in, just because we haven't used it before. So I'm going to grab a spoon. So you want to do the honors?
Look, you put very little on there.
You just want to...
Just a dab.
She's saying very, very little.
Well, it is strong, I'm sure.
Too much?
Well, I don't have to eat it all, I guess. Yeah. Wow. I didn't know what I was expecting, but it wasn't. It's very... Well, you taste it and tell me. It's not what I expected at all.
It's kind of got a medicine taste.
Yeah. Like NyQuil.
Are you sure you want it in this?
I don't know. I mean, it's going to be extremely diluted. But I don't know.
There's a bitter...
Yeah, medicine is the right word. Like a cough syrup.
I'm not sure about putting this in there. It's up to you, but after tasting it, I don't think I want to.
Well, maybe we just put a little more of this in? Okay, let's do that.
Like I said, we really like Brewer's Best.
Yeah, we do.
But this really has a bitter aftertaste and it tastes like medicine, so I don't think so.
The blood orange one is really good.
Well, and habanero and jalapeno and
true.
peach and a bunch of other ones that we've used.
Grapefruit.
But not so much this one. So maybe another.
We should try at some point just putting a little bit into just water and see what major dilution does to it. And it may change the taste a
It
lot.
may.
But yeah, this is safer. So
So it will get a
another
little sweeter than it is,
little
but I mean, really, it's really good now. So I don't know.
an ounce? Half ounce? It is full gallon.
An ounce, I think it's fine. We will come back to the Brewer's Best strawberry and something else.
Maybe a cider. I can't see the black line. Okay, I think that's it. We're gonna have to order some more strawberry.
Yeah, we are fans of strawberry, and
Mm-hmm.
we've put it in ciders. We've made
Strawberry chocolate.
strawberry chocolate ciders.
That's yummy.
Strawberry is one of my favorite flavors. Okay, I'm hoping this gets that
Taste out of your
Brewer's
mouth.
Best out of me.
The
Yeah.
cough syrup out of your mouth. Mm. Yeah. Okay, that's good. I like it.
Yeah. Yeah, you can't beat that. When that's carbonated, that's going to be great.
Yeah. You just stay out of it. It's mine. It's all mine.
I'll be the one that hides it after I carbonate
I
it.
know where to find it.
So,
So I guess we need to write that down that I put 3 ounces.
total of 3 ounces of, and we use other brands other than just this Torani.
Tranny's the most expensive one,
Yeah.
and they have a lot of good flavors, but they don't have all the flavors that we were looking for, so we use a few other ones. Da Vinci and something else. It starts with an S. Can't remember what it is.
I'll put it up on the screen.
So the next step is we're going to carbonate it.
Yeah, I don't think we need to come back and do a tasting on this. I know that this is going to taste wonderful. So this is definitely one that I would recommend doing. It's
Oh, for sure.
It's going to be, it'll be probably in our top 10.
My favorite up until this point has been the blueberry, but this is definitely right up there with the blueberry.
Yeah. So you could also naturally carbonate this if you want. If you want to follow Julie's track, I will force carbonate it. And I will do that at probably 32 psi for 45 minutes and then let it sit overnight before I counter pressure bottle it. And we've got a video on that as well.
And natural carbonation.
Natural carbonation will take a little bit longer than overnight.
But it's
if-
kind of fun.
If you're patient, this is definitely a candidate. This is a low enough ABV that there shouldn't be any issues starting fermentation again in the bottle.
Oh, and honestly, really, it tastes good like it is. So you could just leave it alone.
Yeah, I would, but
It's
it's going to
yummy.
be just that much better being carbonated.
It
But
is
yeah,
better
if you don't have the patience to natural carbonate, and if you don't have the forced carbonation setup, this is great like it is. Really very flavorful.
Absolutely.
And really, if you would want a dry less, if you want just a hint of strawberry, and not adding the syrup is an option too.
Mm-hmm.
This was good at every stage. Really, this is better, I believe, and it's going to be even better after it's carbonated.
It's our favorite, but everybody's opinion's different, so try it how you like it. Thank you for watching. I hope you try our lemonade and try some flavoring. Try this one. If you like strawberry, this is amazing. Let us know how it turned out for you. Please like the video and subscribe. Until next time, cheers.